Hey, welcome to Let's Make Miracles.
I'm Alex, and
I'm Jen.
we're working through the Course in Miracles over the course of an entire year.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We're on Lesson 13. And Lesson 13 is A Meaningless World, Engenders Fear. So the last two lessons have gone about how meaningless the world is, how meaningless thoughts create a meaningless world. And I don't know why all of a sudden my little epiphany went off in my head, but it's like, okay, so you create the world that you want, but in order to do that, you have to be very specific about your thoughts. So you want to create positive thoughts, wholesome thoughts, encouraging thoughts. And then that, in turn, will create that reality around you. And that is what Lesson 13, to me, is trying to teach.
Lesson 13. A meaningless world engenders fear. Today's idea is really another form of the preceding one, except that it is more specific as to the emotion aroused. Actually, a meaningless world is impossible. Nothing without meaning exists. However, it does not follow that you will not think you perceive something that has no meaning. On the contrary, you will be particularly likely to think you do perceive it. Recognition of meaninglessness arouses intense anxiety in all the separated ones. It represents a situation in which God and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space that meaninglessness provides.
Well, there goes my idea, my epiphany.
The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate its own impotence and unreality. And on this alone it is correct. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess, and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices, as they must also be to you who equate yourself with the ego. The exercises for today, which should be done about 3 or 4 times for not more than a minute or so at most each time, are to be practiced in a somewhat different way from the preceding ones. With eyes closed, repeat today's idea to yourself. Then open your eyes and look about you slowly, saying, I am looking at a meaningless world. Repeat this statement to yourself as you look about. Then close your eyes and conclude with, a meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God.
Whoa. Weird.
Okay. May I continue?
Yes.
Okay. You may find it difficult to avoid resistance in one form or another to concluding this statement. Whatever form such resistance may take, remind yourself that you are really afraid of such
A thought
because of the vengeance of the enemy. Both of those words are in quotes. You are not expected to believe the statement at this point, and will probably dismiss it as preposterous. Note carefully, however, any signs of overt or covert fear which it may arouse. This is our first attempt at stating an explicit cause and effect relationship of a kind which you are very inexperienced in recognizing. Do not dwell on the concluding statement, and try not even to think of it except during the practice periods. That will suffice at present.
I am looking at a meaningless world. A meaningless world engenders fear because I am because I think I am in competition with God. That's heavy. Yeah, I can see what he means by it being slightly triggering. Because my automatic feeling is, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then it's like, wait, am I?
Are you what?
Am I in competition?
No, you're not in competition. The statement is, I think I'm in.
Do I? Do I think I'm in competition?
Do you?
I mean...
Where does meaning come from?
Myself? Ego? Others? God?
Well, his statement here means that real meaning has to come from God, and any meaning that doesn't come from God, or the divine, because it's a less charged word, is not real. It's meaningless. No spoilers. So if you're trying to create meaning in the world that you see around you, you are trying to compete with the function of the divine.
Because we're not seeing it as for what it truly is.
Right, it already has meaning.
It's already got its definitions.
Right, it's already been defined. The world has been created and has meaning to it already. But because we're seeing an illusion on top of the world, essentially, we have a tendency to try and create meaning for the illusion that sits on top of the true world.
He's leading us up to how we can see it truly for what it is, and not for what we think it is, correct?
I know he's attempting to remove the thoughts that cause the illusion, and the more of those you remove, the more clearly you can see. I'm not sure if thought exercises like this can actually finish the job. That really only comes through grace.
Our friend?
No.
I was teasing.
Divine grace.
So for those who are asking, are they seeing it clearly or not? What would the answer be? Like, how would we find out if we're seeing it clearly or not? What would be the symptom? Or
it's easiest to assume you're not.
Okay.
I've had a handful of experience of clear sight.
Okay.
But, most of them have happened as a result of practicing Qigong, and were very brief.
I understand what you're saying.
If you're seeing truth, you're seeing that there's no separation between anything. Nothing is separate. Everything is the divine. And all the separation that you see is an illusion that we've created for ourselves to maybe enjoy. I don't know why we created it. But this is a big lesson. And although yesterday's was a big lesson as well.
I was just going to mention that my little brief experiences with truth was when we went to a Sifu's course in St. Petersburg.
Mm-hmm.
We were outside, we had just eaten food, and we decided that we were just going to sit on the bank of the bay, and everything just felt great. The sun was warm, the grass was perfect, it wasn't wet, it was nice. The smells from the bay weren't obtrusive like normal bay smells tend to be, because there was red tide in the area. It wasn't nasty, it was perfect. And we saw the dolphins from afar, and seeing dolphins to me is very magical, very rare, because not everybody sees them. And so there was this pod, and I was like, this is amazing, I feel great, I wish they'd come closer, but if not, I feel so blessed to be able to see them. And they moved closer.
Mm-hmm.
They got so close that if I decided that I wanted to walk into the water, I could have touched them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how close they were. And it was everything was right. There was no other thoughts in my mind besides how perfect the world was, and how perfect everything fit, and how perfect the dolphins were, and the water, and the sun, and the grass, and the bay, and that was my taste.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to achieve seeing the world in that way often. Sometimes I hit it right on the nose, other times I don't, but that's okay. Would you say that was not even the correct reality?
I don't know what you mean by correct.
Is that not the definition?
That's not what he's going for.
That's not even...
No, that's not what he's going. But according to Sifu, we have to live in both worlds. So that would be a good example of creating heaven on earth.
Oh, I'm good at that. I can easily look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So you won't yin and yang. So you need to be okay with experiencing the negative.
Yeah.
But also be joyful for experiencing the positive.
Yeah. What he's trying to explain in this book is that those, both the positive and the negative, don't really have existence in the ultimate. It's only the divine. It's only the...
I don't know if I get it. I don't know if my brain can go about it. I don't know if I can get there.
I'm sure you can.
I don't know if I can at the moment.
Maybe not at the moment.
So, I guess what it comes down to is these past couple of lessons are just trying to jostle the ego out of its safe space.
Basically, yeah. He's trying to take some of the building blocks out of the ego so that it can...
It's trying to Jenga our ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, I think it does come back to... What lesson was that? Number 3. I do not understand anything I see in this room.
Yeah.
But instead of room, it's in this world.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what I'm tasting, what I'm feeling.
That's okay.
What I'm reading, what I'm speaking. I definitely don't understand what I'm speaking. I don't know if it's English or some weird variation of English.
It's okay to not understand, because not understanding and knowing you don't understand creates the desire for understanding.
It's funny.
Why?
The opposite causes the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. The very Zen-like thought process.
I guess so. I think a Zen-like thought process is no thought.
That's true. Bye, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us on our Facebook group, Let's Meet Miracles, or on our Instagram pages at Zenfully Ever After and Heart Lotus Guru.
If you could give us a review in iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts, that would really help us be more visible to more people.
Thanks.